Israel-Palestine, Jerusalem, the most important city in the world, as the capital of Israel, because around Jerusalem, Allah sent thousands of His messengers, such as Ibrahim, Dawood, and Sulaiman. And according to the Jews, the name of this city, Jerusalem, was first given by a great messenger, Noah's son, which means Jerusalem, the city of peace. But since then, this city has never seen anything called peace, because Jerusalem is a holy city for the three major religions of the world: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, a holy city for all. Because this place inside Jerusalem, which is called Baitul Maqdis, this site of it is the Western Wall, which is the holiest place for the Jews today. A little far from here, there is a church, which is the holiest place for the Christians today, because the Christians believe that under this church, there is still the empty grave of Jesus Christ. And on this Baitul Maqdis, there is also the Mosque of Al-Aqsa, because Baitul Maqdis is also the holiest place for the Muslims after Mecca and Medina. When the Prophet was in Mecca, he invited the people of Mecca to Islam for many years. But even after their great efforts, only a few people of Mecca accepted Islam on their words. And these people were not powerful people of Mecca. In fact, there were many of them who were among the weakest people of Mecca, because of which the people of Mecca used to oppress them a lot. Even after all this, the Prophet would keep telling them that today the Muslims are weak, but one day will come that the Muslims will conquer the Roman and Persian empires. They will conquer both, on which the people of Mecca used to make fun of them a lot. And they used to say that these people cannot compete with us in Mecca, so how can they fight the Roman and Persian empires? But now, a few years after the death of the Prophet, the Muslims completely defeated the Roman and Persian empires in wars like Yarmouk and Qadisiyah. And after defeating both these empires, now both the great armies of the Muslims are waiting for orders from Umar, from Medina, that where should we go now? So a letter from Medina directly went to the Persian Empire, Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas. And Hazrat Umar gave them an order that you will not stop until the Persian Empire's capital, Medina, is conquered, and the entire Persian Empire is under the control of the Muslims. Until then, you will not step back. So, Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas set out with the Muslim army to conquer the entire Persian Empire. In the Persian Empire, the Muslim army was slowly moving towards the capital. Now there was the Roman Empire. After the Muslims won the Battle of Yarmouk, they quickly conquered all those areas again, which they had left before. And, after conquering all these areas, now the Muslims were waiting for the order of Hazrat Umar from Medina. So immediately a letter arrived from Medina to Hazrat Abu Ubaidah that with the full strength of the Muslims, go to the holiest city of the Roman Empire, the city of the prophets, Jerusalem, and bring it under the control of the Khilafat. So Abu Ubaidah set out from Syria to Jerusalem with the full strength of the Muslims. And in this way, this great army of the Muslims entered Palestine for the first time, after winning a dangerous battle like Yarmouk. Now there was no one in the entire Roman Empire to stop the Muslims. So the Muslims went straight and surrounded the city of Jerusalem from all sides. But the Muslims did not want Jerusalem to be conquered by wars and swords like other cities, because the Muslims knew that this was the city of the prophets, and they did not want any bloodshed in this city. So the Muslims set up their camps all around the city and slowly began to wait for the surrender of this city. But the greatest priest of Jerusalem, Sophronius, did not surrender easily even after seeing such a large army of Muslims. And again he sent letters to his Roman Emperor, Hercules, that with the entire army of the Roman Empire, you should save Jerusalem from the hands of the Muslims, the holiest city of the Christians. But for the next 4 months, even after Sophronius's great efforts, not a single general from the entire Roman Empire came to his aid. Because in the field of Yarmouk, Khalid bin Walid broke the back of the Romans so much that now they could never raise their heads in front of the Muslims. After the last 4 months, Sophronius's courage broke, and he sent a letter to the Muslim army chief Abu Ubaidah from Jerusalem to surrender. But in this letter he wrote a very strange demand that I will hand over this city to the Muslims on only one condition, that the Caliph of this Islamic empire, Umar bin Khattab, should come and meet me himself. But why? Instead of Khalid bin Walid, Abu Ubaidah, and all the other generals, why did he want to surrender in front of Hazrat Umar? Because Sophronius knew very well about the history of Jerusalem. And he knew that for the past thousands of years, whenever a king conquered this city, he destroyed everything here. The story of Jerusalem and Palestine starts a long time ago. And this story is so interesting that the Bible and the Quran have repeatedly narrated the history of Palestine more than all other areas of the world. The story of Palestine starts with Abraham. According to the Torah, 600 people left Egypt in one day. But as soon as the people of Israel returned to Palestine, they saw that for the past 400 years, when the people of Israel were slaves in Egypt, at the same time, some new very powerful tribes, the Amalekites and the Amorites, had settled in Palestine. So, Allah ordered Moses to prepare these 12 tribes of the people of Israel for war with the Amalekites. So Moses did this, and the whole people of Israel were ready for war. But one night before the war, Moses sent some of the spies of the people of Israel to the Amalekites at night. But now when the people of Israel were ready for war, suddenly the spies came back and told that we, the people of Israel, can never compete with them because these Amorites and other tribes are much more powerful and rich than us, and they have more weapons than us. Hearing this, all the courage of the people of Israel was completely broken, and they threw all their weapons and said to Moses that you and your Lord go and fight. We are not going to fight these people. Allah was very angry with the people of Israel, and he said to Moses that I have shown so many signs to the people of Israel, but still they have refused to fight for me. So now all the people of Israel will live in this desert for the next 40 years, and each one of you will die in this desert. This is your punishment, and your graves will be in this desert. And this is exactly what happened. In the next 40 years, the slave generation of the people of Israel was freed from the pharaohs of Egypt. And in these 40 years, they were completely destroyed. But with all this, Moses and Aaron also left this world. In these 40 years, a new generation of the people of Israel grew up with a free mind, and they finally conquered all of Palestine. And in this way, the people of Israel settled in Palestine again after 500 years. After the conquest of Palestine, Ushas divided Palestine into 12 parts and handed over the 12 tribes of the people of Israel. And there was not a single king over all of them, but a group of judges to control each tribe who started making all the decisions of the people of Israel. And in the same way, for the next 300 years, the same judges of the people of Israel ruled over the whole of Palestine. But slowly, these judges became corrupt, and for some money, they ruined the verses of the Torah and started making their own decisions. This is how the Torah that was revealed to Moses slowly began to change. Because of this, the true face of the Torah that was revealed to Moses slowly began to disappear from the world. And these judges were so corrupt that God even sent his messengers to stop them. So they all joined Samuel and requested him to remove these judges and choose a powerful king so that we can face these enemies. So Samuel chose the first king of the people of Israel, whose name was Talut. So Talut took the army of the people of Israel and set out to fight with Jalut, and both armies were in front of each other. Before the war, Jalut came in front of his army and challenged the people of Israel to fight. But for a long time, no one from the people of Israel went ahead and accepted his challenge because Jalut was not an ordinary man. According to Jewish and modern estimates, Jalut's height was almost 9 feet. Nowadays, some people think that Jalut was a little too tall. His height was almost like a mountain, but this is completely wrong. In fact, there is a person who has passed near Jalut's height, even in modern times, Robert Wadlow, whose height can be estimated by looking at Jalut's height. Jalut stood for a long time and challenged the people of Israel to fight. Finally, a young boy from the army of the people of Israel came forward to fight with Jalut. People even try to explain to Jalut that don't do this because the height of Jalut and Jalut was almost such a big difference. And Jalut also started laughing at this little boy. But as soon as the fight began, Dawood turned a stone from a distance and threw it straight at Jalut. And this stone went straight and hit Jalut's head, and he fell to the ground with a single blow of Dawood in front of everyone. Seeing his leader fall so easily, the morale of his entire army was completely down. Seeing this, Jalut ordered the people of Israel to attack, and in a short time, the entire army of Jalut left the war and fled. Seeing the bravery of Dawood in the war, he became famous as a warrior in the entire people of Israel. After Jalut, Dawood became the king of the entire Palestine. Dawood was the most powerful king, but after his death, his son Suleiman was given such a kingdom that no one in the world got after him. That is, Allah gave Suleiman control over the winds, birds, and jinn. And using this power, he built a very large mosque, which is now called the Temple of Solomon. This temple was one of the largest buildings in the world at that time, and it is said that it was not just a place of worship, but it was also the parliament of the people of Israel, from where Solomon used to run his entire empire. After the death of Suleiman, the people of Israel made their son Rehoboam the new king of Palestine. But Rehoboam, like his father Suleiman, was not a wise king, because of which there were revolts against him in the entire Palestine. And in this way, the great empire of Suleiman was divided into 2 parts. And in this way, the Jews once again became slaves of another king like the Pharaoh for the next 50 years. But after 50 years, Allah sent his own man to Cyrus the Great, who was the first great king of the Persian Empire in that time, who attacked the Babylonian Empire and killed them. And he took the Jews out of slavery and sent them back to Palestine and Jerusalem. And he also gave them money to go and rebuild the Temple of Solomon. Today, there are many Muslim scholars who consider Cyrus the Great as Zulkarnain, which we will explain later. With the help of Cyrus the Great, the Jews once again settled in the area of Palestine. And after coming back to Palestine, first of all, the Jews rebuilt the Temple of Solomon in the same place where it was built before. This temple is not present in the world today, but one wall of this temple, the Western Wall, is still present there. And this wall is as important for the Jews as it is for the Muslims. It is the Kaaba. After this, for the next 500 years, the Jews remained in Palestine like this. But after 500 years, a new superpower had been formed in the world, the Great Roman Empire. Those who came and took back Palestine from the hands of the Jews and made it a small province of their great empire. Now, when all the Jews were living their lives under the Roman Empire, Allah sent a great prophet to them, Jesus Christ. At that time, the Jews had become so corrupt that they did not even listen to the words of the prophets sent by Allah. Rather, before that, they had killed Zechariah and Yahya. Jesus Christ tried a lot to explain to the Jews, but only a few people, the rest of the Jews, did not listen to Jesus Christ and called him a false prophet. And all the Jews, together with the Roman Empire, conspired to kill Jesus Christ. And as they were all going to kill Jesus Christ together, Allah saved them at the last moment. And instead of Jesus Christ, they killed another person on the cross. Now Jesus Christ has left the world, but between the Jews and the Romans, gradually the wars began. After Jesus Christ, Allah never forgave the Jews, because after Jesus Christ, no other prophet has been sent to the Jews. And when Allah conspired against Jesus Christ, Allah took such revenge from the Jews that after a short time of their death, the Romans and the Jews started fighting. And the Romans destroyed the Jews so much that for the next 2,000 years the Jews could not settle in Palestine again. The Romans killed hundreds of thousands of Jews in Palestine, and even the main temple of the Jews, the Temple of Solomon, was set on fire and destroyed. After that, the Jews could not build this temple again. But the Jews believed that in the last days, their Messiah would come and build their third and last temple in this very place of Jerusalem. And then the Jews would rule the whole world. And the Romans put a ban on the Jews that the Jews are not allowed to come to their holy city, Jerusalem. And for the next 600 years, the Roman Empire ruled Palestine. And during these 600 years, leaving their religion, the entire Roman Empire made Christianity their religion. So far, the story was only about one son of Abraham, the progeny of Isaac. But from here, the story of the world completely changes. Because the first son of Abraham, Ishmael, who left Palestine and settled in Arabia thousands of years ago, Allah sent his last prophet from his own progeny, Muhammad. Now, when the prophet was inviting people to Islam in Mecca, at the same time, Palestine was attacked again. But this time, this attack was carried out by the king of the Persian Empire. He conquered Jerusalem and killed 100 Christians here. And again, he destroyed the entire city of Jerusalem and set fire to the churches here and took that cross with him from there, on which the Christians believe that Jesus Christ was killed. Even today, in every church in the world, this cross is copied and placed. After a short while of all this, the Roman Empire defeated the Persians and resettled Jerusalem again. It was such a great war that in the Surah of the Quran, verses were sent about this war in Rome, which we have explained in this video. After all this, the Roman Empire defeated the Persians and brought back his cross and resettled the entire city of Jerusalem. And now, the Roman Empire thought that there was no one in the world to challenge them. But at the same time, in Arabia, the Caliphate of Muslims was moving very fast. And the Caliphate of Muslims had become so strong that in a few years, the Caliphate of Hazrat Umar was once again surrounded Jerusalem from all sides. Now, the leader of Jerusalem, Sophronius, knew the history of this city very well. And he knew that before this, whoever conquered this city, he destroyed everything in this city. So now Sophronius was afraid that now the Muslims should not do the same to this city as the rest had done before. Sophronius sent letters from Jerusalem to his king, Heraclius, that he should come and help him. But after 4 months, no one came to help him. So he had no choice but to surrender this city. But before surrendering, he made a very strange demand that no one had made before. Sophronius sent a letter to the general of the Muslims, Abu Ubaidah, that I will surrender this great city to the Muslims on one condition, that the Caliph of the Muslims, Umar bin Khattab, himself should come and meet me. Because Sophronius had only one hope, because Sophronius had heard about Hazrat Umar before, that Hazrat Umar is very different from all the other kings of the world. In fact, he does not even like to be called a king. And even after being the most powerful person in the world, he lives like an ordinary person. These are the stories of simplicity of Hazrat Umar. It had become famous all over the world that once a Roman general came to the capital of the Muslims, Medina, and told the companions that I want to meet Caliph Umar. That general thought that Hazrat Umar must be living in a very big palace, that the Caliph of the Muslims, whom the whole world worships, is resting under a tree with his head on a stone. Sophronius knew very well about the simplicity of Hazrat Umar, and he knew that only Hazrat Umar can save Jerusalem from destruction. So Abu Ubaidah forcibly sent a letter to Hazrat Umar that without any bloodshed, now only you can conquer Jerusalem. Seeing this, Hazrat Umar gathered all the great companions and asked them, "What should I do now?" Upon which Hazrat Usman advised that you should not go to Jerusalem because the Romans have almost lost this war, and now they do not have enough time for the Caliph to go to them himself. However, Hazrat Ali's opinion was that Hazrat Umar should definitely go to Jerusalem. Hazrat Umar liked Hazrat Ali's opinion the most. With this, Hazrat Umar, for the first time in his caliphate, left Medina and went to Palestine, and even in the Roman Empire, all the Muslim armies were impatiently waiting for their Caliph. But before leaving, Hazrat Umar called Hazrat Ali, and with Medina, all of Arabia's control was handed over to Hazrat Ali, and they left. For the first time, a caliph was leaving Arabia. Such a great caliph of the Islamic Empire, Hazrat Umar left for Jerusalem. The distance between Medina and Jerusalem was 400 kilometers, and it took almost a month to cover it on camels. But for such a long journey, Hazrat Umar only had a camel, some food, and a few companions, while Hazrat Umar was one of the most powerful people in the world. If you look at the Muslim leaders of today, as soon as Hazrat Umar entered there, Khalid bin Walid and Yazid bin Abi Sufyan were standing to welcome him. And because of this important day, they were wearing very expensive clothes. When Hazrat Umar saw their expensive clothes, he got very angry, and he picked up some stones from the ground and threw them towards them and said, "What are you wearing? So soon you have left our ways and adopted the ways of the Romans." As soon as Hazrat Umar reached here, the Christians of Jerusalem also got the news that Hazrat Umar came here from Medina at their request. So Sophronius sent his messenger to Hazrat Umar, and here Hazrat Umar made the most important agreement of his life, which is still remembered by the whole world, and this was the first time in history that a king conquered Jerusalem like this. Like every other city, Muslims will have to pay tax. In this agreement, there was only one thing that clashed between Hazrat Umar and the Christians Jews, because the Christians hated the Jews so much that for the last 600 years, the Romans had banned the Jews from coming to Jerusalem. Although this was the most important place for the Jews, before the Christians surrendered to Jerusalem, they had the same demand that the Muslims should also ban the Jews from coming to this city. But Hazrat Umar did not like this, and wrote in this agreement that the Jews can come to Jerusalem whenever they want. But Hazrat Umar knew that if after 600 years the Jews come back to Jerusalem, then there will be a big fight between the Christians and the Jews, because this city was a holy city. So Hazrat Umar gave the order that the Jews can come here, but they cannot stay here. Hazrat Umar's order was so brilliant because if we see today, ever since the Jews came to Palestine and were forcibly colonized, there has been an unending war in Palestine, which is still going on. After writing this agreement, Hazrat Umar put a seal on this agreement with the ring of the Prophet, and Khalid bin Walid and all the other generals testified on it. Now, the Jews were the happiest, because after 600 years, for the first time because of Hazrat Umar, they saw their holiest city, Jerusalem, again. These were the same Jews who had always conspired against the Prophet and Islam. But now, when the Muslims got the power, the Muslims stood up in front of the Christians and raised their voice for the Jews. When this messenger of Sophronius returned to Jerusalem with the agreement of Hazrat Umar, all the Christians began to read it and celebrate, because they thought that, like every previous king, Hazrat Umar would also destroy this city after conquering Jerusalem. But Hazrat Umar did not do that, and for the first time in history, he conquered Jerusalem without any bloodshed. Now, the name of Hazrat Umar was on the tongue of every Christian of Jerusalem, and all the people of Jerusalem were waiting to see this great king for the first time. So, Hazrat Umar also left the headquarters of the Muslims and went to Jerusalem for the first time. As soon as Hazrat Umar reached near the Muslim army outside Jerusalem, Abu Ubaidah and the rest of the Muslims welcomed him. When the Muslim generals saw the simple and old clothes of Hazrat Umar, they requested Hazrat Umar to change these old clothes and wear some new and expensive clothes and bring a beautiful horse for Hazrat Umar's ride. But Hazrat Umar told them that no, there was a time when we were one of the weakest and backward people in the world, and the respect we have today is not because of our clothes or writing, but only because of Islam. As soon as he said this, Hazrat Umar left for Jerusalem. Now, there is a very interesting story and a very big confusion here, that Hazrat Umar and his slave went to Jerusalem on only one camel. On the way, they used to ride this camel time and time again, and as soon as they reached Jerusalem, Hazrat Umar was sitting on the camel. Hazrat Umar heard this story again and again from his childhood. But this is an unauthentic story, which is not found in any big book of Islamic history. And this story is not even logical, because the army of Muslims, which had Saru,